Okay guys, I've got the brand new Squidgy Pro paddle tail prawn. It's got a nice soft paddle tail on there, and I'm going to rig it on a ball head jig. So this jig head is going to give it roll as well as action with the tail. This is really important. You want to rig it as straight as possible, so take your time. It's even got so lifelike. It's got your little feelers out the front there. It looks so real. It almost gives you a spot to put it dead center there, nice and straight on the prawn. Now I want to run it straight down that backbone. I'm going to run it down the middle, and then I'm going to come out as dead center. You can re-rig it if you want, if you don't make it. That's nice and straight. Then I'm going to push it up hard against the jig head there, and it's got a nice keeper. It's nice and straight down the middle, and that's going to give it the perfect action. If it's not rigged right, it won't work right, so make sure you rig it nice and straight. With the Squidgy Prawn paddle tails, you want to use braid leader so you feel those little slight ticks with barra. So I've got my Power Pro Super Slick tied on. I've got the Oshia leader, 50 pound. It's really tough, it's tough tray, so those barra don't rub you off. And what gives you the next bit of advantage with action is a loop knot. You don't want to tie straight to it because it'll hold it tight, won't let that lure do what it needs to do. So I'm going to tie a loop knot with my leader, very easy. Heap of different ways you can tie a loop knot. This is just one way that I like to do it. Pull that down. That's going to give you the loop knot at the front, and that's going to allow that action, that rolling action, that lure to dance when you twitch it and roll when you wind it. That's going to give it everything. So everything needs to be perfect with barra, and that's your perfect setup right there. All right, I'm just going to run through a few of the techniques that I like to use the Squidgy Prawn paddle tail on. And you know, the idea is to make it imitate what those fish are eating. And with the paddle tail, it's gonna imitate everything: a prawn in saltwater, a freshwater shrimp here at the freshwater lake that barra love, and then also it's going to imitate bait fish as well: small gudgeons, bony brim, anything that basically eats bait fish or prawns or shrimp are going to eat this. So I've got my braid leader tied on, and now I'm just going to cast it along this weed edge. So we're at Kinchant barra fishing, and big fish eat small lures as well. So I'm going to cast it up onto that edge, and I'm just going to twitch it out off that weed. With the single ball head, it'll get a little bit of weed, and then when you feel that weed, you need to snap it. So those shrimp are going to dart out when a barra moves in to hunt. They're going to dart out from the weed. So I'm going to slowly wind it. That's going to get that paddle tail going, and then I'm going to give it small twitches, just like a shrimp, just darting away. And that kind of is a trigger. That's what a panic shrimp would do, and that's when barra are going to eat them. So I'm going to slowly wind. Just give it double little twitches. There's thousands of situations you can use a Squidgy Prawn in. So say you've got a rock bar or a stump or something like that, you know, the fish will tell you what they want. So you've got to vary your techniques up and let them tell you what they want. So if I was casting up to a rock bar, I want it on the bottom. You want it sitting on the bottom and then darting off the bottom. So I'm going to watch that slack line, sinking, and then when you'll see it when it hits the bottom, your slack line will drop out just like that. So it's on the bottom, and I'm going to pick it straight up with a double twitch, so it's darting up off the bottom, and then I'm going to go into a dead slow roll, maybe give it a couple more twitches, and then open that bail arm up and let it back to the bottom. So a shrimp doesn't sit mid-water, a prawn doesn't sit mid-water, it's on the bottom, and then when it's panicking, trying to get away from those predators, it's going to dart up off the bottom. So that's what I'm trying to imitate. A couple snaps, keep that tight line, go into a slow roll, let that paddle tail work, back to the bottom. Okay, so now if we're going to fish structure, everything's about tight cast, getting the lure right in there. And with a ball head jig head like this, you should be able to shake it up over those snags, but you've got to get it right in. So right now I'd put tight cast in and stay close. So if I was casting up along a snag, you'd want to get it right in close. It's all about feeling that snag first and letting the lure come up onto it, and then just giving it small twitches and rolling it up over that stump, letting it fall back down into the snag. That's where the fish are. There's small twitches, and then once you get it out the front, you can almost just go into a slow roll. That's what makes the squidgy prawn so good, is it's very versatile, has the paddle tail plus the prawn imitation.